Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. We are having a wonderful Wednesday. I am Iris Denise Owens, your host of the Autopsy of Her Healing, Evolving Resiliency. And on the line with me is my beautiful sister and co-host. Good morning, honey bunny.
Good morning, honey bunny. It's Stephanie Deani Green. Good morning to everyone. And it's Wednesday, yay. See,
Yeah,
it's
like
yay Wednesday.
Friday, but Wednesday is Wednesday.
Let me tell you, every day is a Monday, yay, a Tuesday, yay. Because we woke
Amen.
up this morning, we're breathing, we're talking, everything works, everything's moving. It's like, yeah, I yay every morning I wake
And
up.
you know what? You make a excellent point because that is definitely the attitude to have. It's yay every morning that we wake up and we get to move, walk, talk, sleep. We slept under a roof and
That's
four walls and a floor. Amen.
that's right. We had
So
some heat, some air, whichever one we needed. Got some
yes,
food. That's
right.
hey, let me tell you. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. That is just a
Amen.
blessing. uh, so that's how I look at it. So it's like every day, yay, yay, day.
Right. So every day, yay, yay, yay. I love that. Listen, that'll preach. Every day, yay, yay, yay.
For sure.
Well, today, guys, we have a treat for you all because, of course, we talk about, healing, evolving, resiliency. But of course, that, as you know, this covers the facets of womanhood. But of course, we discuss things that are not just only to women, but is things that affect all of us as just being the human race. So today, Steph is going to give us an education in something we all are involved in, whether we believe it or not, or whether we think we're actively participating or not. But she's going to educate us today on something. And so our title today, we start there, is Out with the Old and In with the Crypto. So some of you may be familiar with crypto, and I don't know how much you know about it now. Myself personally, I'm like, crypto is like, I go to the window, I peek at it, and then I close it back because I don't know enough about it to open it all the way to go forward. But today, Steph is actually going to give us some really good information on crypto and also investing and that sort of thing. So, Steph, it is on you. I'll let you
Oh,
start
thank
with
you.
intros.
First, I like to say that I am not a financial advisor. This is some of the things I know. I don't know a lot. I know a little bit because things are forever changing and learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's always something new coming on the horizon with where we're actually moving into. And we
Right.
are definitely moving into digital age.
Mm-hmm.
Last month, they had the big financial conference down in Miami. And there they unleashed the digital bull. Everybody knows the famous Wall Street bull. Now the
Mm-hmm.
whole bull is a new digital bull. So
Mm.
just that alone is telling you where we are moving into. And I don't think that is in the forefront like it needs to be, because
Mm-hmm.
right now some of the banks are creating their own cryptocurrencies, and because we have so many cryptos out there. We have the bitcoins, which is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, things of that nature. We have all these smaller coins that are called altcoins, which you also can invest in. They have coins that are just like specifically geared for the metaverse, which is now Facebook. So you can buy coins. You're gonna need those coins to actually buy things inside the metaverse. Okay.
Okay. So wait, pause 1 second. So tell us first. So just like step basic, what exactly is crypto versus dollars, or
Oh,
the type money we're used to interfacing with?
yes, it's built on information. Like anybody could create a crypto. Me and you could create one. Whether it's gonna be worth something or not is two different stories. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's based on it's a ledger of information. So that's basically what it is. And because Bitcoin was the first one that was created, and
Mm-hmm.
because of information, it never loses its, doesn't lose its value. Like the
Okay.
reason money, paper money, which is another name for it, is fiat, is losing its money is because it's literally just printed and it's not based on anything. Before, because that was President Nixon that changed that. Before the dollar matched the gold, you know what I mean? So that's what it was based on, the gold standard. By 1970, they removed that gold standard. So now you could just print money, print money, print money. But because it's not based on anything, it's not worth anything. Now a dollar is worth 75 cents. So the dollar is constantly losing value because of that. So that's why crypto now has become very, very valuable. And so what a lot of companies are doing, wealthy people are doing, they're diversing their money, whereas they have like half, literally half in fiat, and then the other half is in crypto.
Okay.
Ford Motors just divided their company, and they have stated basically, not necessarily verbatim, but they're planning on being, the number one competitor here in the United States to Tesla.
Okay.
Because that's another thing, like that we're going that way as far as, the cars are going. They are. People, oh no, they're never going to get rid of gas cars. That's going to be, gas cars going to be like not the norm very soon, because you think about how many Teslas you see on the road now, and it's only like 5% of the market, all right, just 5% of the market. So can you imagine, and this keeps going up, like every year, because it's a deal, because now we have so many more, companies, electric car companies like that. So
Yes.
we're moving in that way in every aspect, because it's better for the environment. But then the thing is, what people, which I still don't know, to be honest with you, but all, like a lot of problems that we have, like in the Middle East, all has a lot to do with oil. So it's like, well, like with the oil, and how oil is, so worth so much money, we're always fighting over it, they're never going to let that go. Yeah, well, you have to realize that when at one point we didn't have motor cars, we still had horse and buggies.
Right.
So it's like, and we just don't remember because we weren't here, you know. So things keep changing. You know what I mean? You imagine they used to have like all the horses on the, it was a whole big thing. Then the motor cars came. One time we didn't have planes. So for people that this sounds like foreign to them, because you just think that we have gone as far as we're going to go in this world, like, oh, now we develop all this, now technology is going to stop. It's never going to stop. It's ever evolving. It's always going to be something else, something else, something else. And we are moving at light speed at this particular point. But a
Okay.
lot of these things have been in development for a long time. They're just coming. And then like some things are really here already. We just don't know that they're here. I'm a big, I love old movies. And I was watching a movie maybe, about a couple of years ago, and the movie was like 1940 or whatever. They had a cell phone. 1940. So it's like, we just got it, John Q. Public. But a lot of things are already here. They just come to us. But now with the crypto technology, it's like people are basically taking care of that. That didn't come like with the government. The government is kind of behind that 8 ball. That's one of the issues with it. And that's why people became so wealthy.
So what does a typical layperson need to do right now? What should we be looking for? What should we be investigating? Or, like, what do we do? Because this sounds so, for
I
lack
know,
of a
sounds.
better word, when you don't understand or you don't know this, it sounds so invasive, right?
Yeah,
Almost
yeah,
to
yeah.
the degree that it sounds scary. Like I could see, like I said, I would, it's like crypto is like a scary movie for me. It comes up and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know enough. And so I don't want to know anymore and I'm gonna leave it alone. But what you're saying is that we really can't afford to do that anymore. Like we really need
I'm
to,
gonna tell you, they have Bitcoin
understand what's
ATMs.
going on.
They have Bitcoin's ATMs all over the world.
Right. And I
If
know
you
that
could
you can
go,
buy a home, you can buy a car with Bitcoins. I do know that.
yeah.
I just think it's not something that most of us are not, we don't know enough about it to even be able to start to comprehend or see how fast this thing is coming and moving. And what do we do? So what should one do, to at least
like
educate themselves?
one of the things that you could do, because Google is your friend and Google will tell you everything, you need to start researching these things. That's what's very, because that's what it is. People are really so scared about it and like, no, this is not happening. It's happening. And you do have to educate yourself and find out exactly what it is. Like people think that the blockchain is Bitcoin. The blockchain is not Bitcoin. The blockchain is something that it runs on. The blockchain is like the web. Like we're on the web now. Like people think like, Mark Zuckerberg owns the web. He doesn't own the web. He owns Facebook, which rides that is on the web. He operates on the web, but he doesn't own the web. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with the blockchain. Certain coins, Bitcoin, which is one of them, is on that particular blockchain. And there are different blockchains also. So that people develop. And it's all technology. It's all done through computers. That's how it's done. They mine computers for these coins. It's based on information. I mean, and that's the thing. That's another thing that's happening too, because when you're mining for these coins, it takes a lot of energy. So the one thing that they are definitely working on is which coins are going to be the best coins, because you're trying to not burn so much energy trying to create these, coins or use these coins. So they want to cut down on all of that too. So that's why
there
so
are
many
actual physical
the
Bitcoins
computers,
are actually a physical,
it's information, but it's in the
it's
computer.
information, but in a,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's a digital.
yeah. It's
So,
digital.
so maybe if I'm, so let me, for a layperson, let me see if I understand what you're saying. So it's like, a SIM card. Is it like that? Like a SIM card has information that you take that SIM card and put it into your phone,
Yeah,
and
I know what
it
you're saying. I'm not so
gathers
far.
all the information, and then you could retrieve information from that SIM card, but it's stored on. But what you're saying,
I don't think it's like a SIM card though. I mean, that
okay,
may be an analogy. I don't get that, but like,
okay,
because it takes many computers to mine for this thing, for these
okay,
coins. So yeah, and it takes a lot of, like, some takes less energy than some takes more energy, some takes less energy. And
okay,
because of how it's done, it takes some are fast and some are slow. Like right now, one of the coins that they're going to be using, because it's good when you do transactions, is Ripple, which is XRP. They had a really big, it was a court, they were in court. They won, I don't think they won the case, but the case was settled in January, because that's going to be a really big coin that people are going to be using. I know a lot of banks are using that coin now because it moves very fast and it's good for transactions. See, different coins are used for different things also.
okay,
So that's a whole interesting kind of thing. And then sometimes, just like I do investments with crypto, and like one of the platforms I'm on, you could only fund that account with Bitcoin. Okay. And then one of the other platforms I'm on, you can only fund that account with Tether. Tether is like, that's a dollar to dollar. It matches the fiat, basically. It doesn't fluctuate. Whereas Bitcoin is like this, Ethereum is like this. They're very volatile. They go up and down. One thing you do need to know about crypto is very volatile. It trades 24/7. It never sleeps. Like the stock
okay,
market, Monday through Friday, but that's not how it works with crypto. Crypto is 24/7, and it goes up and it goes down, and it's like being on a roller coaster. So that's the one thing that
okay,
you need to know. So that's so you watch it. Like even when sometimes when we're making transactions, by the time I get the transaction over there, the Bitcoin either went up, Bitcoin either went down. So you have to like adjust, like say, oh, I'm gonna put 500 over here. And then when you're moving from one platform to the other, like they charge you gas fees. That's what it's called. It's a fee to move these things. And so now, like, we have all these different platforms where you can buy crypto. And while you have them with anything, you know, with something, now you have options. But not
Mm-hmm.
only that, some platforms are cheaper than other platforms. Like they'll say like you should be on a certain platform if you're operating with crypto because it's gonna give you, I mean, Bitcoin, because that's gonna give you your best Bitcoin prices as far as moving the Bitcoin. Because you get charged either way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a percentage of how much the money is, or things of that nature. So it
Okay.
is definitely a lot of information. I mean, it's not like, you know, how when you go to your bank account and you just change the money over, you know, you send the money to
Right.
somebody, it doesn't cost you
Right.
nothing, or the same thing. And it's like, even with one of the platforms I'm on, okay, so when you even like some of these with like a lot of platforms, so say like you want to fund your account with like, you know, $1,000. And you said like, I say, oh, Iris, this is a great platform, you should get on this platform, you know, open up, you know, go get, I got Coinbase, you get whatever you want. There's so many different ones out there. You fund the account, they're going to tell you, you can't even, it's going to take like 7 days to 14 days, that money has to be sitting there before you can even move it, because it's not, they want to know that that money, if they have it sitting there, you know, you can't use the money right away. Now, I mean, it's all about money now, let's be clear. I mean, everybody's making money one way or the other. Now, if you decide, we'll tell a client, you can wire, if you wire them, they want to make sure that where the money's coming from, they have to check all this money out, because that's,
Mm-hmm.
they got to that point. Yeah,
Right.
where's the money coming from? So now if you wire the money into your account from your bank, because everything has to be attached to your bank, because you want, you imagine what you're doing is you're taking cash, which is fiat, and then you're converted it to whatever coin you need to use to fund whatever platform you're going on. Okay, so you could just move the money over, then you're gonna have to like wait, or if the money, if you already have coins on that account, then you could just, you know, transfer them to wherever you want to go. But if it's a new account and you don't have any money there, then you have to transfer the money over and wait, you know, 7 to 14 days. But if you wire the money into the account from your bank account, that's, it's a whole track, it's tracked. So the money, you could use it right then and there. But then to wire money into the account, it's like $35. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to pay the $35, you wait. Or what you do, you could run it through Cash App. Cash App doesn't, but you can't run a lot of money. If you're trying to put in like $2,000, you're not gonna be able to do that through Cash. Well, you can, but you have to do it in segments. You know,
Right. Exactly.
maybe 2,000 is probably the max. But say if you're trying to put in 10,000, you're not gonna be able to do it like that, because they a certain amount per week they allow. You know, so it's
So,
interesting how.
so what's the difference between crypto and, as, and because you said this in the beginning, a digital bull versus the bull that was in the stock market, right?
The regular, right.
So
Okay.
so first, what is the bull?
Oh, the bull represents Wall Street. It's the Wall Street, you know, bull market versus bear market. So that's that. It's like that iconic, you know, Wall Street bull. You know,
Okay.
yeah, so that's what it is. A bullish
Okay.
market. You like, you know, you're making money. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why the bull is there, and he's like, you know.
So
So they
what
did
is, so what is the
the
difference
bull.
now between this bull and now a digital bull?
The digital bull represents that we are like, crypto is here to stay, because crypto is digital. Okay,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
that's crypto is digital money. That's what it is. So crypto's not going anywhere, and that means it's gonna, like with the stocks and everything like that. Because now, even though like with mutual funds and all these kind of things inside of those packages, because mutual funds are like together of packages
Mm-hmm.
of different stocks. So now in that, you could probably buy crypto, you could buy different things that you wasn't able to buy before. But
Gotcha.
now everybody's involved in crypto. Before it was just not, like the government's all involved, everything. That's why now any money you move through like Cash App and all these other places, after $600, it has to be
They're gonna
reported to the
start,
IRS.
right. Now they're
And
gonna
that,
start sending you a 1099 for your Cash App. And I assume that's gonna
yeah,
be the same for Zelle as well too. Or
yeah, yeah.
any,
And
well, yeah, because
but yeah, it will be
it's
for
your
Zelle.
bank account, so it might be different with the Zelle, because Zelle is connected to your bank account. But
Exactly,
yeah, so I
exactly,
guess more the cash platforms like Venmo,
exactly,
PayPal,
exactly.
Cash App, that sort of thing will be make a
Yep,
difference.
all
Okay.
of them. Like,
Okay, so what would you suggest that a basic, the normal, the lay person who doesn't know anything about stock market, and now here we are in a crypto market, right? More of a virtual market, if you would call it, right? Is it okay to say that?
mm-hmm.
A virtual market, what would be the first thing? And I heard you, so you said, research and educate yourself. What would you suggest once you do some research and you educate, then what's your next step?
My next step, I would really seriously think about what you're interested in. It's like kind of the same concept. You know what I
Okay.
mean? If you want to participate in the metaverse, like I did Google, this is probably like 2 months ago, I Googled how much would property be in the metaverse. And the cheapest property was like $11,000.
Okay. Now stop.
Okay.
What is metaverse?
All right. So basically, kind of like easy explain it to you. You know how all the kids do all the gaming and everything like that, and they have
Yes.
the glasses on?
Yes.
That's a virtual reality. So this one's just
Awesome.
called the metaverse.
Okay.
So, and they're gonna take this one to like a whole, like they had I know Ariana Grande, she had a concert in the metaverse, and
Mm-hmm.
so did Travis Scott. And from that concert she made $20 million inside the metaverse. And Travis Scott made like $21 million. So imagine that you could just go to a concert in your home, just sitting on your sofa. All you got, you got to wear
Mm-hmm.
just the glasses, the Oculus, they
Right.
give you the code to get in, and then you're there, and it's amazing. Like they had Travis Scott, he was like a giant inside inside the concert. So it's interesting. So I mean, it's good, and then it's because now we are not socializing with each other.
I
We
was
don't
going
have
to
to go.
say that it seems, again, one of these things is something. So yeah, it brings about the ability. I mean, it's just, but I guess virtual anything, social platforms has given us the ability to, without quote unquote real time travel. That's the closest thing I could connect it to,
It's true,
because
yeah.
literally, like you and I sit here and we talk every week, looking at each other, talking to each other. And I remember as a kid watching the Jetsons, right? And I always thought that we would have flying cars. Like I thought by this time in my life, I would see cars flying throughout the sky, and people could take their cars and fold it up or make it, dissipate into something smaller so they could take it with them and pop it back up, like the Jetsons used to do.
Yeah,
I just figured,
it.
Me too. I always thought with technology, we would get to that point in life, but yet we have not. But we have all these other things. Yeah, all these other things we can do where, again, you and I could talk. I could be talking to someone, 24, hour time change between us. It could be night where they are, and it's daylight.
I talked to him in Tokyo.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So I love that, but I do think it's, again, there's so many unknowns. So I think that's also what makes it so much more intimidating, because it's like, because I can only imagine for more of a senior generation, even though there are many seniors though who literally enjoy all of this virtual and the ability to talk to one another via these type of platforms and so forth. But when it comes to things that are like, they're tangible, that you're not touching, you're not able to see it, but you're putting trust in it, it's a little bit different, right? So, okay, so you've explained what metaverse is. So now metaverse, getting in, so knowing that that's a platform. Do you see that more things in our life are going to become so much more dependent on, what do you call it?
Yes.
The word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? Not human interaction, but there's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now, but the ability to do
artificial intelligence.
Yes, thank you. Artificial intelligence. And it seems like we are,
absolutely.
Like I remember when I first saw the movie I, Robot, and I thought, you know, and the same thing that I was afraid of, like, what happens if the robot gets crazy? You know, if the robot decides they're gonna, you know, revolt against humans or whatever. So it's all these things, but the you know, every day you're seeing that we depend so much on technology, which also I sometimes feel like, do you think that puts us in a vulnerable state, i.e., if, like, say we all start driving electric cars and someone then attacks us by just cutting off our electricity source?
Our grids,
Yeah, just shutting down all our, attacking our grids. Where does that put us?
It doesn't work like that, because remember that our electric sources are like, oh, that's where solar. See, it has kind of been some steps.
Yes.
Imagine, like, we didn't understand like solar, like, but now you
Correct.
go around, especially both of us being realtors, you see all the solar panels.
Yes.
That sun is the best thing you could have.
Yes.
And so a lot of these charging stations, you know, are powered by the sun.
Oh, that's correct.
So that's something that, you know, see, that's why, that's the big thing about it, because they're like, we don't have to fight for this oil like that.
Correct.
You know,
right.
We could, God gave us the sun, you know what I mean? Sun turns into the energy, and then we put that into our cars, and there we go.
Right.
You know, so imagine you have a house, you have solar panels, so you're getting that, and you have, you know, you have to have the charging thing at your house.
Right.
You're not even, just like you're riding your car for free. Can you imagine that you don't have to go to the gas tank?
I know. Especially right now. Oh my gosh.
People are loving it right now to have it. It's already here. People have their, you know, their cars, and they have solar panels. All they gotta do is put that bad boy in.
And keep it moving. Yeah.
And keep it moving. I mean, now they're getting, the batteries are expensive. That's the thing that they're working on, because it's like anything. You know, anything that's new to the market, just imagine, remember how expensive computers used to be.
Right.
So anything that's new
to the
cell
phone.
Our cell phones. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now they're working on larger battery lives. Mm-hmm. So that makes a difference for those different companies. You have a lot of different ones. It's just not, Tesla is the most popular one and the most, you know, one that we know of. But it's a lot of other ones that's out there too. Like NIO is one. They've been having I bought NIO stock, and oh my God. But yeah, so NIO is another one. Ford is coming out with theirs. I mean, you have some, like, all the car companies are working on their electric cars. For sure. They are working. So they're all coming, and it's gonna be a big change. I know I have like talked to my family. You know, we're home for Christmas. I saw my cousin. He's like, oh no, because you don't know that thing with the oil. I'm like, it's a whole new day. Trust and believe. Yes. You know, because oil wasn't the way that people always made money. No. You know, it's everything. Let me tell you, you know who else invested in all these electric vehicles is Amazon. Mm-hmm. They have a whole fleet, you know, and so does UPS. Right. So let me tell you, it's here. You know,
because I've seen those. I don't remember where I saw it, but I did see how these companies are going to have these trucks out here, especially now with the shortage of drivers and people, you know, protesting against what's going on with shipments and so forth and so on. And so I have seen, like you said, these companies where there will be intelligence or artificial intelligence moving these trucks and delivering these packages and driving miles and miles on the highway. And it's like, wow, like, again, it's very, very intriguing, but at the same time seems so cold. Like we're eliminating the human interaction and the need for human beings to literally go to work, because it starts to, like, I think every time you take a machine or something, artificial intelligence, and replaces that means there are a whole lot of people losing out on work. So it's going to be interesting.
No, I mean, they are to a certain extent, but it's been out there that we have to learn these other procedures, because they still need people to run a lot of these things.
Yes.
So now we have to just learn that, like, you know, it's always a hot thing, like technology, computers, being a computer, like it was all these different things, you know, different jobs that are and become the hot thing. for like maybe for 10, 20 years. But
Right.
what happens is people do not, you have to grow, you have to change. We are no longer standing the job for 40 years and
Absolutely.
then, retiring. So you have
Absolutely.
to, as the market changes, you have to change with your education of what's new to the market so you could be viable to still work in that marketplace. So that
Absolutely.
is definitely what's going on. Just like in New York, we're probably in Atlanta too. They have the Amazon store where you could just walk in. There's no cashiers, and
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
can
And
pick up anything you
there's a
want.
grocery store like here at one of our newest subdivisions. And it's the same thing. You sign up, you put in your card information, and everything has a barcode. And when you walk out the door, it scans all of your groceries and charges your card. So you are never, you put everything in your bag or in your cart and you walk out the door, bam. And I'm thinking to myself, man, that's just, you love it, but at the same time, you feel sometimes so like you
You
feel,
feel invaded. Your privacy is
yes,
invaded. Yeah, how do
so
they just? I mean, because with the you just literally like same thing. You walk in. I think you have to be a member of Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken.
yes,
And you just walk in, and you don't have to take out anything. So that means
yes,
everything is scanning you. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
yeah. I mean, I understand. I mean, at the same time, I understand. I'm excited because I think the idea that you just, I mean, because imagine people were upset when we got rid of the horses, when people had to learn how to
Yes, yes,
people were upset, but look, it's so much better. We don't have the paved road. We have paved roads now. I mean, we get places a lot quicker. It doesn't take, a week, to get to Europe anymore. So it's, I mean, I think there's pros and cons and everything, but I think that it's definitely more pros than it is cons. I mean,
yes,
but I'm open to that. Like even on our platform, we have a lot of people that are a little older that, like in their 60s or 70s,
yes.
and they're definitely on that training. Okay, I was trying to, put money over into the platform. I was trying to change my Bitcoin over, whatever problems they're having, but they're on it. They know how to get on those Zoom calls and
Right,
they know how
right.
to ask for information, you know what I mean? So it's good. And just like they have with was it Lyft or Uber? I think it's Uber that's really doing the auto drivers in Arizona. They have
Mm,
that whole thing going on. They're trying, and it's been doing
okay.
really, really well. So artificial intelligence is just driving the car,
Yes,
and
yes,
everything's automated. This is going to be a lot more than that. I mean, this even like things I have read. The talk is that we have all those parking garages in New York.
yes.
They're eventually going to be no more
Really?
because yes, because it's going to be the thing that you're not going to need because people aren't going to have cars like that. They're not going to need so
Mm,
many of them, you
mm,
know, that
mm-hmm,
people will come in. They'll have. It's going to be like how Uber and Lyft work now. It's going to work even more efficiently.
mm.
So
Interesting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting. It's really
So,
interesting.
okay, so we need to do research. We need to educate ourselves. We need to be able
Mhm,
to understand these platforms,
mhm.
in which and terminology. A lot of it too is
Definitely. The
that's part of
terminology.
educating ourselves is understanding a lot of this the terminology as it relates to all of this virtual
Mhm.
for lack of a better word, world that we're engaging in
Exactly.
or
Like
not
gas
engaging
fees.
in.
When I first heard gas fees, I'm like, what's that?
Right,
The fees that
right,
you need to move your crypto from one thing to the
right,
next. So
right.
yeah. I think that too, like to be honest with you, you have to get involved.
Yes.
Um, you won't really understand it until you actually do it.
Okay.
Get on a platform, buy some crypto, buy and look, let's be clear. That's a whole nother thing because a lot of us never even bought stock, you
Yes.
know, which is different from crypto.
Right.
The stock market has been around forever. But people haven't even ever bought stock. And now you have all these platforms where you could buy stock from. Right
Yes.
now, that market is very volatile at this particular moment because of the war in the Ukraine. It's just so many things going on right now.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and because of how we're slowly but changing over to digital, which
Right.
like a lot of people aren't talking about. So the market, like that money that people were making 2 years ago in the market, we're not making it right now. I'm not gonna
Right.
lie. It's been a little
Mm-hmm.
like, some stocks are doing decent, but for the most part,
Right.
like how we making money, boy, I'd be like, oh yeah, you
Right.
remember
Right. Right.
it definitely has it slowed down, but then that means you move into another medium.
Right.
Now
Right.
I'm more into crypto and like, trading crypto. I'm doing more of those kind of things,
Yes.
which is better. And having somebody like do it for me right now, because I was just doing all that stuff on my own. So I'm enjoying that platform right now too. So you're doing like with that, they're doing more things to keep your interests, well, the interest that you make, because when one thing's not working, something else is.
So do you think, because I know years ago, and it was some years ago, and there's been talk of this several years, that we're going to go to a completely cashless society? Like, because you said earlier that
Oh yeah, but
money doesn't have the value in
there's a
which
whole
it, yeah, not holds a
It,
value.
it really has no value, because even right now, check this out. We're basically digital now, because you know how the money there's the money doesn't really move. When you go and take money out your account, you go to your ATM, just the numbers move. They're not really moving money like that. Oh, they're like, oh, the money now, Iris took $100 out of her account. It's the numbers are changing. So we're basically very digital now, whether we really know it or not. Let me tell you, if you go to your bank right now and say, look, I need $20,000, and you're talking about like a small bank like where we live, maybe go to like a New York bank,
Mm-hmm.
different, and a big
Mm-hmm.
bank. Okay. But you go there, then they do not have $20,000. They're going to have to gather that money for you,
Right. Right.
because, like I said, those are accounts, just the numbers are changing. That's all.
That's interesting that you would say that, because when you think about it, right, you do not, and not that this is a good thing, you do not hear, no, what am I trying to say? Okay, so interesting enough, you don't hear banks being robbed like, back in the day, right? But you
Not like
do
they used
hear about how municipalities or different their systems are hijacked and
to. I
held
have.
for ransom, right? So I guess that does speak to how valuable information is, right? Because of course, a company can't say, fine, you just take it all and we're not going to pay you. But because you need that information, especially based on all the liability, because if you have clients, that's all of your clients' information. It's not just your information, it's clients' information. Then you're at risk of you've breached, contract and information so I guess when you look at it from that perspective, that does speak a lot to when something becomes important or valuable, people try to take it. It becomes a vital interaction with it because people want it, right? So I guess that kind of makes a lot of sense about, that
It just moves. It
cash
just
will
moves.
not be king.
No, and then I can honestly tell you that when you think about how the government, it kind of like stroked us into it. You know what I mean? Because you have to realize, like, then we got the ATMs, then we got the debit cards. Once we basically got debit cards, most people do not carry cash on them. They just have their debit card.
Exactly. This is true, because I
So
never have cash. When I go someplace and they
there
go,
we go.
we don't take debit cards, I'm like, what? What do you
Exactly.
mean?
So
I
I
never
mean,
have cash.
right there, that's cashless society. Okay.
Exactly.
Now
Exactly.
they have, like, I got all my debit cards now for my crypto account. I don't even have to convert the money over to cash anymore. I could just use
Right.
that debit card, and the machine, as we go, is already
Takes care of
prepared.
it.
But takes care of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
Steph, this has been, you've educated me on a lot. So thank you I really, really thank you. And we are definitely going to revisit this again, because you have, I've known you for 27 years, and for all 27 years, I've always heard you talk about, the stock market and investing, and I know, being your friend and your sister, you would come and you'd say something to me, and I was like, she is always into something that is, and I'll be sitting over here going, no, I'm not jumping in that pool. I can't jump in that pool. But I will admit that is a life though of an entrepreneur, because you are always looking for different sources and different streams and avenues to build wealth, not just make money, but to build wealth. And something we need to understand is that working every day and just having money in the bank is not wealth. It is building generational wealth, money that will be there long after you're over and you're gone from this earth, but also the building of wealth that your children, not money to spend, but money to be able to operate with and through. Is that right? That makes sense? As opposed
you have to spend it to do that. So
right.
It is money to
but
spend,
spending it wisely and not spending it on things, like not spending it on, we just want a bigger house, or we want a bigger car, or we want a better car. We, as you and I are, we love shoes and clothes, but I'm talking things that hold value. Maybe that's what I should say. Purchasing and making investments in things that hold value. So,
but not only
appreciate and don't think you say.
You do, but you do want to dress well.
Yeah, of course.
But we have a problem with that right now in the country also, because like a lot of the fast clothes, like the places like H&M and things like that, they're called like fast clothes, and they're saying how toxic these things are to our environment. So now you want clothes that is cost per wear. So when you do things like that, you buy less. Because you buy quality and it lasts. So that's where you save your money.
Right.
Okay. Right. So that's why, people don't understand, well, why would I buy a pair of boots for $1,000? You buy a basic pair of boots for $1,000. Right. You're going to get a good 5 to 6 year wear out of those boots.
Absolutely. As opposed to a pair of boots that's $20 and it's not even going to last you the season.
Exactly. Correct. And then you got to buy more and more
and made out of very poor, cheap materials.
Exactly. Right. By the time you bought them over and over again, you might as well have spent $1,000.
Exactly.
So that when you have money that affords you to be able to do that, you don't buy trendy, you buy classic.
Yes.
So when you buy something like, my favorite is Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has been around since like the 1800s. It's not going anywhere. Right. And you bought a bag 20 years ago and you took care of your bag, it's still relevant 20 years later. Yes, that's cost per wear. By the time you're gonna have that bag, my mother had a bag, she must have bought, I don't know when. I gave it to my daughter and it was still relevant. So that's where we, even with our homes, like every home that's being built is not necessarily a quality home.
No, absolutely. Even new construction. Oh, gosh.
Exactly. So now you think about these older, well-built homes that you could go in and redo. Right. And so therefore we're not putting so much toxic stuff into the environment. Right. And the same thing about a very well-made car. Right. That is well-made. You remember they had that little car? What was it called back in the day? It was the most cheapest car ever. And people were buying that little car. I can't remember the name of that car. But it didn't last long because it wasn't really a good investment. So that's what we have to think about. You know what I mean? That, you want to buy a piece of, like now wealthy people put their money into art.
Exactly.
Money goes into art. Money, like I know, like the fighter, what's his name? He has put all his money into the Birkin bags, which Birkin bags are a good investment because they only go up. I remember when a Birkin bag was $10,000. Now the Birkin bag, I think they started at $30,000 at this point. So they go up in value. So you got to think of outside the box of what other things. But that's why people do invest in a lot of things, because the dollar is losing value. Right. So you got to, and we have to do that quickly, even as lay people, that we got to find something else to put our money into, because the value of the dollar is going quickly. They're getting ready to print some more money. Every time they print money, the dollar goes down. I mean, we look at like, oh my God, we got a stimulus check.
More money. Yes. Yes.
But most people not most people, some people, not me say most people, some people, bought stocks. I was one of those people. I mean, some people like, yeah, I wasn't gonna buy things. Some people bought stock, a lot of people went out and bought other things. So it was a good time to invest. And they saw that,
Yes.
the government saw how much people started investing with
Right.
that stimulus money. They had the opportunity to do that. So that's what we have to do. But I would say get involved, buy some crypto, buy some stock, look for some different platforms. There's a lot of things out there. There's so many things out there. And literally people are making thousands and thousands of dollars a day.
Yes.
I know people that are making $50,000 a week.
Wow. Well,
Exactly.
thank you, Steph. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like you said, we're gonna revisit this again, because as you get more education and as I start to become not afraid to dip my toe in the water.
Just dip your toe. I mean, I've made money, I've lost money, but
Yes, but
I'm
that's with anything.
I'm
That's
a
what
hustler.
invested. All
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it. All of it is a risk. There's risk factor
Oh
in
yeah. It's a learning
everything.
experience. It
Yes.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
So thank you so much. And hey, guys, I hope that you all garnered some information today. I know that I did. I hope that you all did. And I hope that it piqued your interest enough to go do some research on your own at this point. And if you have any questions, feel free to chime in, send us a note, ask your questions, put questions in the chat box, or, send us a note on YouTube or on our podcast channel, reach out to us, or I can be reached at idolovecoaching@gmail.com. Steph can be reached at.
I can reach at mymentor.life. I'm a
Yes.
style coach and a divorce coach.
Right. And soon she's going to be a money coach. That's what she's going to be a wealth. No, let me say it. She's going to be a wealth coach. That's what she's going to be. I'll speaking that into existence.
I will give you suggestions and what, is a good thing to do. Things I would love to be able to, because I love being able to help make people wealthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it changes your life, not just your life, it changes the lives of people around you.
Yes.
And it affords you to be able to not do what you have to do, but be able to do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
It gives you so many more options, because I tell you now, my children will be millionaires in the next 3 years.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you, honey bunny. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Enjoy your day. Go make investments.
I gotta go reinvest right now.
All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you all soon. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, honey.